Good morning, Earth. Welcome to story time. So basically, I didn't do a very good job of recording or explaining most of what happened during our journey to California, which did not work out. I only got to the Texas stuff, but I just want to try and remember everything I can about it because there's a lot of stuff I missed. And then also there's some more stuff that's recorded already that I got to set up real quick. So it began from Tennessee. Day one was pretty fun. We drove, we had a plan set up already of all the places we were going to go. Oh, damn. Actually, I might have it in here. I'm not tripping. I might be tripping. Alright, it's not here. Oh, wait, one more time. One more chance. Alright, it's a no-go. Sorry that I just wasted your time, but I hope it was stimulating for you. We left Tennessee, so we lived in Knoxville, which is on like the very long end of Tennessee. So most of Tennessee actually takes a really long time to get through. It's kind of most of the journey for day one is getting to Memphis, passing Nashville. And I'll say I've never seen an armadillo in my life, but as we got close to Nashville, that's where we started to see armadillos on the road. Like, damn, that is the coolest thing ever. Real life armadillo roadkill. Just a part of regular life, probably somewhere else. And no, that whole leprosy thing is kind of a myth, I think. So do your research, kids. That was all fun. We got to Memphis, where that glass giant pyramid of a Bass Pro Shops is, and the Mississippi River. I don't know, it's just so crazy how iconic it feels. Or I don't even know what that feeling is, but when you see something that has a name that you've heard of before, and I don't know, it's just like a famous spot, I guess. It's really cool, even if it's just something you see for 2 minutes while you're passing over the bridge and then it's gone forever. And in my head, all I can hear is the music that we were listening to. The song that I used for the outro in Free Run Knoxville, that's like the anthem song for this trip. It's called Keep You Warm. So then we crossed the Mississippi and got into Arkansas, where it was completely flat and level. The flattest, longest fields I've ever seen in my entire life. We did have plans or ideas that we wanted to go to New Orleans, but I guess we don't know that much about New Orleans. And also, we don't really have much money. We were kind of like going bare nubs for this trip, trying to make it back alive. So we decided we're going to save that for another time. We found some cool stops in Texas, but most of them were really hard to chain together because it's in Texas, you know, it could be anywhere. Texas is huge. I don't know, I guess a fair amount of my fans or people that watch these videos are familiar with Connecticut's size, and Texas has got to be like 30 times that, maybe more. It's pretty serious stuff. Anyway, so we did map out where we wanted to go, but we were going to stop in Hot Springs, Arkansas for night one. That was the plan. So we kept on going there, and we were pretty disappointed by Hot Springs, Arkansas. Just seemed like a kind of a broken, dusty, dirty town. Concrete. I don't know, it's probably like one of the only cities around. I don't know, man. It looked bad out there, so even though we got to Hot Springs, Arkansas that night, or that day, and then we got bored. We were trying to DoorDash, but it wasn't busy. We were just like, you know what, we should just keep going on, honestly. There's probably not much for us here, even though we were planning to do a few things in Arkansas, in that area. But like a natural hot spring would be nice. And it does become partially important for the story later on, because I'll get into more specifics about everything. But we decided to keep going, so now we're driving into the night, heading for Texas. Didn't know Texas was so close to Tennessee. Very cool. At some point we wanted to stop. We took I don't know, I have a couple of things mixed up in my mind because it was pretty late and I had been driving for a really long time, but at one point we had picked up, something from my car was hanging down, like the plastic parts of the undercarriage, and we were getting off the highway to take some sleep time in a parking lot or something, like a hotel parking lot. And like the second we pull up to this hotel at like 2 or 3 a.m., like this huge part of my car just falls off. It makes a ton of noise. Like, oh god, we gotta get out of here. But we also can't just leave that. So I brought it over to a trash can. All the while just like so tired from all this driving. Like, what is going on? And then we had to find a spot to pee and take a nap too. I think we did take a, yeah, we had some sleep at that parking lot. That was in Arkansas still, I think. Yes. After peeing on the side of the road of a residential street at 3 a.m., I decided I had slept enough to go a little bit farther. And that same day, day one, we went from Knoxville to the entry of Texas. I don't know what town it would have been, but it was a rest stop and it was very cool. And then at that last spot, we got some actual good sleep. And when we woke up in the morning, we were met by Texas's famous bird. I don't know if it's the state bird, but it should be the great-tailed grackle. I don't know if I have any clips. Yeah. There's gonna be some clips in the next video that I publish, that have some grackles, but not the full glory of them. They're just these kind of big birds, but like crow-sized, maybe skinnier but bigger still. And they just make so much noise all the time. It's hilarious. You really don't know what it is until you see it. Great-tailed grackle. That's worth a look up. And yes, was that the day? Okay, I think this is where we catch up with the video that I put out already, part 1. So the next day, I believe the plan was to go to the Dinosaur State Park. Yes, where there's like dinosaur footprints in Texas. Glen Rose, Texas, I believe. Close by Dallas, Fort Worth. So once we had some sleep, we went out that direction. And yes, this is where it overlaps with the story that you've heard of so far if you watched the other video. As we passed Dallas and Fort Worth, and by the way, everything along the way has been really beautiful. I mean, I'm just kind of skimming over the details, but it's really an experience when you're just kind of soaking in that atmosphere nonstop. And not to mention, it was the adventure of a lifetime that we were on for this. So, I don't know, every moment was really amazing. Just so many sights to see, and who knew just looking at things could be so awesome. But even just the journey, like, I don't know, like, it's not glorious necessarily to go on a 2-mile run at the track, but like, I don't know, if you needed to get milk or something, I don't know. I'm not even gonna edit all this out, just, I don't know. It's different when you're on a mission. That's what I'm trying to say. But Texas has a lot more flowers than any other place I've ever seen. Fields and fields of different colored wildflowers. That was very nice. And yeah, so we kept going, and there is a close on a main road as we got close to Glen Rose, Texas, about 20 or 30 miles from the dinosaur park. Yes, there was a major road close, so we had to go on a detour, this really slow back road. There was very long lines of cars, just because usually passing through that area is quick. I'm sorry, it's hard to gather all my thoughts at once, because I'm picturing it. But, so there's a main road intersection, finally, after a long way. And then this small road that goes across, keeps going. But there's a main road eventually that you cross over. And right as we got to that stop sign, basically continuing our detour, is when the car gave out. And hence is the rest of the story. Car started rolling backwards a little bit. We had to push it across the street with the help of some strangers. I didn't really know what to do, except that I had to keep my foot on the brake or the car rolls backward. And that's just more trouble I'm not trying to get into. Hope the GoPro doesn't get too hot and stop recording. I'll hold you guys in the shade. Get some ventilation going. Oh no. That's also a main part of why I wanted to do the video in here. It's because this car was here for the whole time. So this is a very familiar sight for me. Alright, so I will skip over a lot of the details for this part because it's in the video already. Bug. There's a fucking bug. I'm sorry for this chaos. If you're still here, I applaud you. But alright, so car breaks down. We get the guy to help. I go on a nice run. We see some longhorns get scared to pee because of rattlesnakes. Guy gives us a ride. Smoke a joint with him. That's my dude. Maze Towing. Check it out. And we go to the place. They're on lunch, so we go to lunch with the towing guy. He took us there. And he also gave us a $200 discount because he was aware of everything that was leading up to that moment too. So we really needed that, honestly, because there were times where we evened out to like $0, and there's no way we could have done anything else if that hadn't happened. So I don't know. I feel like chance, luck, fate, or the divine is a big part of the whole Texas story. And I even had a fortune cookie at the Chinese buffet, and it said, "There's nothing in the world that a hot bath wouldn't help." And I was like, oh shit, we're supposed to go home, back to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Anyway, after that we had to spend a couple nights in the hotel, 2 nights, because of some magic involved. I'll skip over all that. Going to church and getting some snacks. It was pretty amazing, actually. We had to wait for some money of mine to come in, and we also had to wait for them to get the part they needed to fix my car. So we walked around a lot in Cleburne, Texas. It was really fun, and me and Kaylee are planning on living there someday. It's so significant to us, and it's just so beautiful. There's a park right next to where we were staying in the hotel. Like, I don't know, if you know my story, you know about Manship Park was really close to my house. It's somewhere I used to walk and always do flips. In Connecticut, Canterbury, my actual house. But Cleburne, Texas is pretty close, at least for this time being, because there was this beautiful park with even some like unique parkour rocks. It's something McGregor Park, I forget what it is. So you'll probably be able to find it based on it being in Cleburne. And yeah, it was a lot of fun walking around, adventuring, doing jumps like I always do, and that's just the life that I live. Always watching for rattlesnakes, but still wanting to see one, just not wanting to be anywhere close to it. Definitely looking for spiders and scorpions and everything like that as well. So after those days go by and that crazy storm happened last, I'm now setting you up for the video that's coming up next. So, it's crazy actually, though. One more thing, I want to include this part of the story because of the whole Texas God thing. The place where my car sat down at the car repair store. It was sitting like underneath, I think, kind of looked like a gas station cover, but there weren't any pumps. It's just where they hold their cars when they're working on them. There was a bird bringing sticks into like a hole in a light or something, so it was making a nest. And that was when we dropped the car off, and then 3 days later or so, whenever they had fixed the car, and I don't have the receipt on hand with me, it's downstairs somewhere, but the number was like 1234 or something like that. Like, I don't know, just one of those coincidental extra times. And then whenever we had the keys back and we were like, no way, we're actually gonna get out of here, because we didn't know for a long time, there were baby birds in that nest right as we were leaving. So Texas was about a rebirth, and honestly I do see it that way, because if my car had done that while I was on a main road, I don't know what could have happened. Probably could have been a lot worse. So I feel like something's always got your back, whatever you believe in. So yes, we got that freedom feeling back because we got the car. A little scared that it's gonna explode when we touch it, but it feels smooth and it's ready to go. Still hot as hell out in Texas every day. And so we had to make some choices because Kaylee was having some like weird health problems as well. And so we knew that going home meant that we would be able to fix it sooner, because the plan was to move back to Connecticut after the trip was done. So that was a part of it, but also out of the car's worry's sake and having a lot less money than we started with because of all the car things, we decided we probably should turn back. But we've come so far, we should do at least one thing other than stop in Arkansas for a night. So we decided we were gonna try for the dinosaur park again and go to Palo Duro Canyons. We went to the dinosaur park, but because of that crazy rainstorm that we had, it was closed. So there's another guiding light, I suppose. It really was, now that I think about it. Oh my gosh, there's so much beauty to this story. I don't even know where to start you, but like, I see it everywhere when I'm thinking about this. Like, just driving on the roads of Texas for hours and hours. So amazing. When I'm used to, I don't know, trees. Trees are really cool. There's not a lot of trees in Texas. Whatever. Dinosaur Park was closed, so we decided to just head straight for Palo Duro Canyons, which somehow I had never heard of, but it's the second largest canyon system in America. Probably one of the larger ones in the world. Maybe not. So we decided we should definitely do that, because there's also something there called the Lighthouse Trail, and that's just significant to something that me and Kaylee have. Back when we first got back together, the tent I had was Coleman, so it's got like that lantern logo on it. She called it a lighthouse, so yeah, now you know. You've been cheesed. So we made the drive, or at least we embarked on the drive to Palo Duro Canyon, because the dinosaur park was closed. We had to just find a rest stop for the night close to it. And honestly, that day's drive is probably my favorite day of the whole trip. Like I was just cheesing on in many directions. It's just the flattest, largest fields you could physically see before the curvature of the earth takes away your ability. At least from my height. There's windmills, fields of giant windmills, just flat cities, just plains for 30 or 40 miles, and then one little town, and it's back to the sticks, or the bush, I guess. It's amazing. Trains and freedom. That's what it felt like to me. So we rested at a rest stop after a super vibey day driving. And at this rest stop was a tornado shelter, so I thought that was pretty cool too. Still always looking for scorpions. Oh, and that night was great. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I smoke weed in these stories. But we smoked, and we were sitting on this hill at the rest stop. Probably a hill just like that, kind of steep, but it was only like a 6-foot tall hill, even though it was kind of steep. So you could just lay back on it in like a perfect recliner position and look at the wide open sky. And because it's so empty, devoid of light pollution as it's called, it is just so crystal clear. Like, I can't believe this. And I was determined to stay out until I saw a shooting star, because if you didn't know, they're actually kind of common and easy to see. You just gotta be there for long enough. And after a while, I figured out that laying on the hill upside down very much enhances your view. So definitely try that sometime. It'll take you for a trip. And that leads you right up to the end of this video, because it is where Palo Duro begins. When I wake up in the morning. But you'll also see some stuff from the